Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, where we give you guys a first perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is the real reason the Clippers and the Lakers are still better than the Nets. So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. So anyway, let me get into this topic here. So we all know that this is a bombshell that dropped last night. Okay, this is a bombshell. We had produced some content that we already had planned, and then this video dropped, and then this news dropped. Let me just say this to some people that may not know, because some people some people think that, okay, you just produce content. Oh, it takes 5 minutes, like Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp. They wake up, they drive into the office, and they start making content. It doesn't work like that. It takes hours to prepare good content. Hours. If you look at the thumbnails on our pictures, it takes Marco hours to create that. So content is not just something you just jump up and then you see. ESPN and all of these guys, they make it look seamless because they have tens of $1 million behind that machine that makes it run at that level. So it's not something that takes like 5 minutes. One guy came, oh, why are you posting this video? Not knowing that you just don't wake up and you just make content like that. You have to think, you have to prepare content, all that. So that's the reason we didn't post about it. Secondly, you saw us make a post about it in the community on the channel. Again, last night, this is one of the limitations of not having your own platform where you can communicate with people, because I had to post on the channel yesterday, which is something that I'm trying to avoid. So that's one of the reasons we're launching this platform, so the community can interact when something like this, for example, happens, so we can talk about it and not have to wait for us to drop content the following day. Anyway, let me get into this topic here. I got a lot that I want to say today, and I have some points that I want to make to you guys that's going to really kind of make you guys think, which is what I want you to do. So the Nets acquired James Harden last night. And as you can expect, the minute that happened, some people jumped on the bandwagon. Now, if you're a Nets fan originally and you're excited about your team, I can understand that. If you're just an NBA fan that maybe follows another team and all of a sudden you jump on the Nets and say the Nets are winning the championship, I don't know what would make you say that. But anyway, first of all, let's talk about the Lakers and why I still think the Lakers, Clippers, and all are still better than the Nets. First of all, the Lakers have LeBron. They have LeBron James, and the Nets do not have LeBron James. So that's, first of all, one advantage that I'm going to give to the Lakers. The Lakers still, if those two teams were to meet up in the finals, the Lakers still have the best player on the floor in LeBron James. So number one advantage goes to LeBron. Second advantage is the Lakers have AD. Now, some people may say, well, is AD better than Kevin Durant? No. However, AD is a matchup nightmare for pretty much every single team in the NBA, because there's no way you can really deal with him. He's too versatile of a player, especially on both sides of the floor. AD is not just a great offensive player. He can score in a myriad of ways, but also he's all-world defense. He could have won Defensive Player of the Year last year. He probably should have won Defensive Player of the Year last year. So they have that. And also, did I mention the fact that the Lakers have LeBron James? I think I mentioned that, right? The Lakers also have clear leadership, which the Nets don't have at all. The Lakers have better coaching with Frank Vogel, a championship coaching. The Nets have a rookie head coach in Steve Nash that Kyrie Irving doesn't even have the respect for to even text and say, hey, listen, I'm not going to be showing up to work, and said that, listen, we don't need a coach. So the Lakers have a better coach, and most importantly, they have a pecking order. It's LeBron and it's AD. It's clear. With the Brooklyn Nets, it's going to be wonderful to see who's going to be the top dog on this team, because they're going to have to produce like 10 basketballs for this team, because that's another reason why I don't think it's going to it's going to work, and none of which the Nets have. The Nets have none of these things. Moving on to the Clippers. The Clippers have Kawhi Leonard, who I would pick over any Nets player every single day of the week. Why? Because Kawhi Leonard plays on two sides of the ball. He plays offense and defense. He's not just offense. And I'm going to get to the importance of that, because some people, for whatever reason, don't take into account the importance of defense and two-way play. All they look at is the flashy offensive numbers and say, oh my, the Stephen A. Smiths of the world. Oh my God, with all of this offensive, if you like, you can score 650 points a game. But if you can't stop anybody, it doesn't matter. So that's one thing. The Clippers have a Kawhi Leonard. The Clippers are a deeper team. I don't even think that's a question. You could just go through their roster with Nicholas Batum, Marcus Morris, Paul. I don't even think that's a question. They have the deeper team. They have a better system. They're running a little bit of the triangle offense, which you can see is leading to way more playmaking. And their stars, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, are averaging like close to 12 assists a game combined. So they have a better system in place. And as I said, they have a better coach. And Tyronn Lue, who's already a championship coach, who's already coached the LeBron James of the world, been around some elite players in his career, the Phil Jacksons of the world, and the Michael Jordans, and the Kobe Bryants, and the Shaqs. Now, let me delve a little bit deeper for the people that want to jump up and say, "Oh, KD," and then I don't listen. I'm not saying it's not going to work, but I don't think it's going to work. But anyway, let me get into this, and let me just point it out. Let me illustrate why I think this whole thing of the Nets being a new thing to challenge with the Lakers, I don't even think they're in the same league, to be honest with you, but I know it's going to piss a lot of people off, but let me just get into it. First of all, let's talk about the two best players on each team. In the Nets, I don't even know. Is that KD and Kyrie? Is it Kyrie and Harden? I don't even know who it is, but let's talk about the Lakers. Do you know that between Anthony Davis and LeBron James' career defensive team selections, the two of them combined have made 11 all-defensive teams for their career. LeBron has made 5 all-first defensive team, but if you combine the total amount of defensive team made by either of these guys, it's been 11. Okay? If you look at Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, their combined all-defensive teams is 10. Kawhi Leonard has made 6, 3 first, 3 second. Okay, and I think Paul George has made 2 first, 2 second. And Kawhi Leonard is a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. So I think it's safe to say that of the stars on either team, the Clippers and the Lakers have way better defenders. It's not even close. It's not even debatable. They have way better defensive players, and they have very efficient offensive players. So the thing about the whole KD and Kyrie and all of this is great. Now let me get to the Kyrie Irving and these guys. Do you know that Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and James Harden have never made not even one defensive team combined? If you added up all 3 of these stars, if you combine their all defensive teams that they've made, it comes up to 0. 0. KD has never made a defensive team, not even all third. Kyrie has never made a defensive team, and James Harden has never even sniffed. Maybe he can make like the 5th team or the 6th team if they have it. These guys have never made the defensive teams in their career, which to me I think is astonishing if you think about it. It tells me that this team is just a one-sided team. Explain to me how your best key players have never made it all defensive team. Now, some people say, well, look at the Golden State Warriors. Stephen Curry, they made it, but Draymond Green did. Draymond Green, Defensive Player of the Year, did. Klay Thompson did. And that Warriors team was a very good defensive team to begin with. Another thing, given the fact that the Brooklyn Nets already don't have all-world defenders, they don't play defense at a high level, they also traded away their defensive block, their defensive shot blocker in Jared Allen. They traded him away in that deal. He's no longer there. So now their only defensive anchor is DeAndre Jordan. So they got even worse on defense and added in James Harden. Now let's talk about James Harden and Kyrie and these guys. Let me ask you guys a question. Who's going to sacrifice their game? Is it going to be Kyrie? I don't think so. Kyrie ain't looking like he's trying to sacrifice a damn thing. He may not want to play, but when he's playing, he ain't sacrificing nothing. Is it James Harden? When was the last time James Harden sacrificed his game, apart from when he was a 6th man of the year in the NBA? James Harden is not even a great off-the-ball player. KD is. That's about it. James Harden cannot play without the ball. I've never seen him do it successfully. James Harden this is going to blow some people's minds, may have to come off the bench for these guys. Oh my God, did he just say come off the bench? Did he come off the bench? Okay, if he's on the floor with Kyrie, KD, and if these 3 guys are on the floor, how's it going to work? How many balls do they have? How's it going to work? Who's going to come off the ball? Who's going to do it? So for me, this team has so many issues, and KD should not be the one sacrificing a bloody thing. because it is clear that he is the best player on that team, and I don't even think it's close. If we're taking into efficiency, and the way that he scores, it's not even close. Kyrie's good, KD's better. Let's just face it, and KD's better than James Harden. Like historically, we know that he's a better scorer. He's a better. He's an overall better player. He's a much better clutch player. So I don't even think it's close. Who's going to sacrifice on this team? This team has chemistry issues. Kyrie Irving is not even there. So some people are ready to put them in the championship round, but they don't play defense. How are you going to get to the championship and win it against great defensive teams? The Clippers have elite defenders on the perimeter. The Lakers are an elite defensive team. So where's all of this coming from? Like this thing of, we're getting ready to put them. Listen, I'm not saying that they can't make the finals, but I would not pick this team over the Lakers and the Clippers. That is my point. I think the Lakers and the Clippers are still better. Better coaching, better system, better pecking order, way better chemistry, better defenders for damn sure. Like, so I don't know what we're basing this off of in James Harden's game, and I don't know how these guys' game is going to work, to be quite honest with you. But for the people that picked them, I guess you guys are going to have an interesting time explaining it. But for me, I don't see how it's going to work at all. And before Kendrick Perkins made his proclamation on TV, I already made my post way before that last night, before I even saw what he said. But these guys are not good defensively. But I didn't know how bad it was that your top 3 All-Stars, not even one of them has made one defensive team in their entire career. Not even one. Not even one. Not even a 1/3 All-NBA defensive team. And these guys are going to be locking people down. How? How's it going to work? So that's my thoughts on this trade. So, and that's why I still think the Lakers and Clippers are better. So what I want to know from you guys is, what do you think about this trade? What do you think about what I said? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our next video that's coming up. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.